Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Let's understand about the low level of the energy. So, how to recover that low level of energy. So, first of all, we will understand about the low level of energy and their causes. Basically, the low level of energy will lead to cause inflammation in your brain and the memory loss, cognitive impairment, and fatigue of the muscle, as well as basically tiredness, and in this way the energy crashes will occur basically in the nervous system, in the muscle. So why it is possible and how it can be recovered, so let's understand about that. Basically, the mitochondria in your body is known as the powerhouse of the cell, which that exchange the energy currency. For example, whenever you will eat the carbohydrate, the protein and fat, that all these things will be converted into the energy due to the mitochondria, and mitochondria will convert it in the form of acetyl-CoA, and that acetyl-CoA will produce the ATP. While the important thing is that the mitochondrial function is very important. If the healthy mitochondria, so it will produce more energy, and due to like the electron transport chain function well and the Krebs cycle function well. In this way, the mitochondria, if healthy, so in this way the energy production mechanism will increase. So we should need to increase the number of mitochondria and the health of the mitochondria, biogenesis and repair of the mitochondria. That is our need. Not need to eat too much to replenish our energy, but it should require the mitochondrial function. Whenever your mitochondria will function properly, so in this way, whenever you will not eat, whenever you will go into the fasting, so your mitochondria consume the energy from fat and that produce a lot of ATP rather than the eating more to produce energy. So not use energy drink, not use sugar to recover the energy crashes. So energy crash will recover due to the healthy mitochondria, and in this way you can gain the memory, you can gain the cognitive power, and in this way your brain will function as well. But on the other hand, the less function of the mitochondria will lead to cause the brain inflammation. But we will discuss in the another video about the brain inflammation and the muscle fatigue. But just remember about that, increase the number of mitochondria, but with the increase of the number of mitochondria, you should also prepare the mitochondria for function well. So the number of mitochondria present in the single cell more than 1000. So we can increase the number of mitochondria for production of more ATP and biogenesis of the mitochondria. So let's understand about that. Basically, whenever you will exercise, aerobic exercise, it is also important in this way. Whenever the recovery will occur, so after the exercise, you will spike the growth hormone. That growth hormone will target to the several cell to biogenesis of the mitochondria, but also the intermittent hypoxic shock, the intermittent hypoxic exercise where the oxygen less, for example more running to decrease the oxygen level, but intermittently, not chronically. So intermittently you should basically gain the number of mitochondria and biogenesis. How? Because during the exercise hypoxic shock, in this way the HIF1 alpha will produce hypoxic inducible factor 1 alpha, which that basically down regulate the function of the mitochondria, but this will again recover. But the HIF1 alpha, after the recovery time, whenever you will go into the rest, to spike the growth hormone, and that growth hormone is important for the biogenesis of the mitochondria. But the growth hormone itself is not important as much as like the supplementation and the good food eating habit. So let's understand about that. Basically, the mitochondria will be increased due to the fasting and ketogenic diet. On the other hand, the supplementation like resveratrol, curcumin. On the other hand, the coenzyme Q10, which that is also important for the production of more ATP. And in this way, you can add the supplementation. But anyhow, the exercise, hypoxic and the aerobic exercise intermittently, which that also gain the number of mitochondria and biogenesis of the mitochondria. while ketogenic diet contains omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid as well as the other vitamin like the vitamin K, vitamin D and the vitamin E, while on the other hand the vitamin B12 complex which that provide the function of the mitochondria in your brain. So to basically you will reverse the fatigue and tiredness, and in this way you can improve yourself with the eating good habits. So in this way the ketogenic diet, the exercise and fasting which that stimulate the biogenesis of the mitochondria, because the ketogenic diet and fasting with the caloric restriction diet, so which that spike the PGC1 alpha. This PGC1 alpha, due to the low level of the energy in your cell, basically you will decrease the glucose level in the cell. In this way the glycolysis will not possible, and that will lead to increase the ADP ratio ATP, and in this way it will spike the AMPK pathway and inhibit the mTOR pathway. So the AMPK pathway is very important to trigger the mitochondrial biogenesis and transcription of that gene, which that basically is the TFAM, the transcriptional factor A mitochondria, which that basically trigger to repair the mitochondria and increase the biogenesis of the mitochondria due to the PGC1 alpha. It can be triggered due to the fasting, caloric restriction diet, hypoxic shock, on the other hand the aerobic exercise, while the sleep also spike the growth hormone, and in this the ketogenic diet, fasting, which that hold the all minerals and nutrients. So we require the potassium, magnesium and the calcium for the mitochondrial function well. So in this way the magnesium is very important and copper also important, but the magnesium is too much important, which that come from the green vegetable. So you should add the green vegetable with a ketogenic diet due to the high fat is important for the beta oxidation of fat. And in this way the carnitine contain fish and meat. So the carnitine is important for the upregulation of the mitochondrial function and produce a lot of energy from the fat, is known as the beta oxidation during the exercise. In this way you can increase the ATP production, and in this way you will alert, you will more focus, and in this way your cognitive impairment problem will be solved, while the prevention of the Alzheimer disease, Huntington disease, and your brain will function properly, and in this way you will feel more energetic. That is why. So in this way basically is the ketogenic diet, sleep, fasting, exercise, calorie restriction, and the low carb diet like the ketogenic diet, which that improve the function of the mitochondria, and the aerobic respiration will be improved by this, because the beta oxidation requires the oxygen, so the oxygen consumed. While on the other hand the overeating of the sugar, which that will lead to glycolysis more and the damage the mitochondria, because the insulin spike which that inhibit the growth hormone. So in this way the spike of the insulin will lead to inflammation and the biogenesis of the mitochondria will be stopped. In this way the electron transport chain dysfunction, because the magnesium is not taking, and the loss of the magnesium due to the insulin spike and the excretion of the extra sugar with the magnesium, potassium, so the all mineral and electrolyte will be loose due to the our intake of the sugar. So the sugar is bad for you, so please stop the sugar to increase the mitochondrial biogenesis. In this way you will feel the more and more fresh and more energetic. So I hope you make sense about that. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. For this time, bye. Allah Hafiz.